Kyogre, Araquanid, and Dusclops was able to make top 8 in a big online Japan tournament, and I wanted to build a recreation because it looked like Entrainment Araquanid Water Bubble, and I really want to rebuild it because it's always been a fun combo we've used in restricted formats on the channel. It's a tradition, so let us try out this recreation of that team and see how well it can perform. This is a team that was able to get top 8 in an online tournament known as the Terra Square. Let's break it down. First, we had the Calyrex Ice Rider with the Clear Amulets, Terra Grass for its defensive type, and as one for the ability with Glacial Lance, High Horsepower, Seed Bomb, and Trick Room. It actually deviates from the original Cali Ice on the team because it was shown in a VOD that it was Terra Fire on the Calyrex Ice Rider. However, I did end up having Terra Grass in game. I forgot to change it, but then I realized, oh, it was actually putting in work. And plus, Terra Grass and Seed Bomb do make a lot of sense, and it helps play around spores and stuff. So I decided to just keep Terra Grass because I wasn't a huge fan of Terra Fire. I think it's only specifically for sun matchups that can get a bit annoying. However, felt that Terra Grass was worth it, so I just kept it on the build. We have the Terra Grass to help out against the Spore on the Amoonguss, the Brubanus that I've been picking up recently. And it's been pretty good because it's a great defensive typing when paired with Rain, because you're usually relying on the Rain to reduce the super effective fire type attacks, and Terra Grass is pretty good defensively otherwise. Pairing up with the Seed Bomb tech, which is an interesting tech. No Protect on this Calyrex Ice Rider, opting for Seed Bomb instead, but it does make sense because a lot of this team you're really doing damage with Glacial Lance or the water type moves, so that means you're not really doing too much damage into water types as well as Terra Waters, especially Pokemon like Opposing Kyogre and Urshifu Rapid Strike. So being able to hit that with a Seed Bomb can be very effective there. Otherwise, it's a pretty standard Calyrex Ice under Trick Room. You might be wondering, why am I not min speed on this Calyrex Ice Rider? Realistically, if you were to rebuild a team, I would highly recommend you do go min speed Calyrex Ice Rider. I just didn't have a min speed Calyrex Ice Rider in game. I thought I did, but apparently I do not. So I ended up just going with my normal Calyrex Ice Rider. So that just has max IV. So if you do want to rebuild it in game or you want to change the pace, make it min speed Cali Ice. But it's pretty simple otherwise. You just dish out a lot of damage, you have a lot of bulk to be able to take the attack, set the Trick Room, and yeah, it's pretty simple what Cali Ice can do. Next Pokemon we have is the Indeedee female with the Rocky Helmet and Psychic Surge ability to summon the Psychic Terrain with the Terra Fairy as the defensive typing. Psychic, Follow Me, Helping Hand, and Trick Room. With Indeedee, it is pretty nice just having the Psychic Surge for terrain control. The redirection, of course, is really nice, and an immunity to Calyrex Shadow Rider Astral Barrage, which this team doesn't really have otherwise, so very helpful to help against Miraidon, Calyrex Shadow Rider, stop the priority attacks from affecting Trick Room, and your Kyogre and Cali Ice Sweeps, which can be very important. Otherwise, it's pretty simple. Psychic is just for the damage move over the fairy type attack, because be able to hit water or Shifu that's able to resist the ice plus water coverage is pretty nice, as well as the Amoonguss it can do more damage into, so that is the choice of move here. And it is able to just absorb attacks, max defense, max HP. This helps it pretty much against most of the Urshifu Rapid Strikes out there. And it is able to chip away with that Rocky Helmet to break Focus Ashes, which is very helpful. Otherwise, it's a pretty standard Indeedee female, a great staple for Trick Rooms with the Psychic Terrain, the redirection, and another base up Trick Room. Next Pokemon we have is the Dusclops with the Eviolite Frisk for the ability with Terra Dark as the defensive typing with Nightshade, Willish, Pain Split, and Trick Room. I think Dusclops is a really cool mon on this team. It's able to help out against Iron Hands, which is a mon that this team can struggle to deal with, especially Assault Vest Iron Hands is just able to take the hits pretty well, and if they go for like a Terra Water, it is pretty difficult to maneuver around. So having Willis to slow down the Iron Hands and burning it is pretty nice to have its attack, and it is a mon that's just pretty strong into a few things that can really be helpful. Side Willis is also a play you can do against Amoonguss, because Dusclops is naturally slower than Amoonguss, so a move before Amoonguss you can go for a Side Willis and be able to prevent the Willis that way, especially onto your Kyogre. It can work against the Cali Ice if you really are okay with taking the burn, but it might be helpful in some situations. Pain Split's really nice for the recovery, that can help away at chipping away at your opponent, and then Nightshade's just nice because it's pretty consistent damage, because Dusclops not a main attacker. Frisk is just a great ability for best of one and close team sheet, so being able to scout for items is really nice to maybe see some surprise strategies. And Dusclops can just do pretty well, especially into like Zamazenta. It's able to tank the attacks pretty well and able to wall a lot of common physical attackers, especially with that Willis and Pain Split being very hard for them to get rid of. Otherwise, the spread, we're actually running a pretty specially defensive Dusclops I'm pretty sure, especially defensive on the team, because it was taking Astral Barrages pretty well, especially with its high base 130 defense stats paired with Violet to increase it to 1.5x, which is really helpful. You pretty much have to go max HP because its HP stat is horrendous and you want to be able to recover as much as possible with the Pain Split. Otherwise, it's just able to take attacks pretty well after the Violet. And yeah, just do the things that I need to do. Scout for items, Trick Room for the support, and Willis is just really great in this kind of format, especially against a lot of high physical attackers. And the Terra Dark is to help out against Calyx Shadow Rider, but also can help prevent Encore from Whimsicott if you don't bring the Indie mode. Next Pokemon is the Dark Urshifu with Choice Band, Unseen Fist with Terra Dark as its defensive typing with Wicked Blow, Close Combat, Sucker Punch, and Poison Jab. Overall, I think that Choice Band Urshifu is pretty strong in Trick Room. I actually don't know if it was Water Urshifu or Dark Urshifu on the team because that was never shown. I think it's probably Dark because it makes the Shadow Rider player fear a bit more because you actually have a Mon that can just resist Astral Barrage and threaten it naturally. So I think it should be Dark, and just able to dish out a ton of damage with that Choice Band. Really strong under Trick Room with Wicked Blow, Close Combat, Sucker Punch. Even if you do have Psychic Terrain, sometimes you don't have the Indie in some cases, and sometimes you just do need that priority option, so Sucker Punch of course. And then Poison Jab just to be able to hit the Terra Fairies out there, the grass types, so it can help out against those situations. Otherwise, the EV spread, you're pretty much just going with max attack, and then since the rest of the team is slow, you might as well just take advantage of Trick Room. I think my Urshifu in game is a bit faster. It has some speed IVs, but otherwise it shouldn't really matter too much. There aren't that many situations I think around that speed tier that should be coming into play, so you're just able to threaten heavy amounts of damage with really strong attacks with the Choice Band Urshifu, and that is just something that you have the option to under Trick Room, and they can't protect through because of Unseen Fist. Now we get to my favorite parts of the team, the classic Mystic Water Kyogre with the Drizzle ability with Water Spout, Hydro Pump, Origin Pulse, Protect with the Terra Grass as the defensive type. Now, normally I'm a huge fan of Terra Water, and Terra Water with Water Bubble on top of that. It's super crazy, right? It would be super crazy, but that might not be necessary. I think that might be a bit too much. So I think just go with the classic Mystic Water that's already boosting the power of your water type moves. Go to Terra Grass defensive option because Rillaboom, Raging Bolt, all those Pokemon, they're just way too annoying. And it makes playing around Amoonguss so much easier because with the safety goggles on Araquanid and the Terra Grass on Kyogre, I don't have to worry about spores from Amoonguss slowing down any of my game plans. So just more reasons to have the defensive typing here because you're already boosting it with the power of your Water Bubble Entrainment from the Araquanid, so don't really need the extra power on top of it because you're already getting some really strong one-shots in most cases with that Water Bubble, so you don't need the Terra on top of that. Just go with defensive typing here with a pretty standard just max HP and max special attack. Really, it's just supposed to be able to tank attacks and fire back some heavy hitting damage output. And final Pokemon, the Pokemon choice that we never even got to see in the live stream, so I'm hoping that it was Entrainment, but this is the idea that I came up with, the safety goggles on Araquanid with the Water Bubble ability with Terra Dark as a defensive type with Wide Guard, Rain Dance, Entrainment, and Liquidation. So one of the things you do need on the Araquanid on this team, of course, Entrainment. Entrainment giving Water Bubble basically your ability to the target, and Entrainment has some cool plays. So Entrainment can of course give the Water Bubble to Kyogre. That's the main strategy we're going to go for. This Araquanid is going to be designed to outspeed my Kyogre under Trick Room, go for the Entrainment, and then just go for Water Spout, Origin Pulse, Hydro Pumps, whatever I want to click. So Entrainment has some pretty cool things that you can do with it outside of just going for the own Entrainment Water Bubble, your own Kyogre. For instance, be able to get rid of the multi-scales or the shadow shields or the sturdy. Some Pokemon is pretty nice, especially in that option against like Lunala. Being able to go for Entrainment Water Spout is pretty strong in some situations. Being able to get rid of just abilities in general where a format just really relies on abilities can be very nice. Being able to overwrite, for instance, a Wheezing, neutralizing gas, which could be important. So there's like a few things you could do with Entrainment. You could also use it to lower the damage output of Pokemon that just rely on their abilities. Get rid of Unseen Fist on an Urshifu if there's like a situation where you have to go for Entrainment and Protect with Kyogre. That could be an option. So there are quite a few ways to utilize this move, which I think is pretty unique. And otherwise, you have the Wide Guard support to prevent this really strong spread moves, which this team doesn't like dealing with Astral Barrage, so having an access to Wide Guard is very helpful there. And Rain Dance is going to be a move of choice to help out in the Koraidon matchup or the Groudon matchup, because you can go for Rain Dance as they switch in and then just go for Water Spell with Kyogre, and keeping that rain up is pretty important for the Water Bubble KOing Kyogre ability. And even if you don't have the Water Bubble, like still in the rain, Water Spout or Origin Pulses are 100% worth it. Liquidation is just going to be the damage output, because otherwise maybe it's Infestation just for chip, but Liquidation does some pretty good damage with the Water Bubble, so you might as well have it in my opinion. And then the EV spread, it's just a bulky Araquanid. It's supposed to be able to take attacks, because the idea of this Araquanid isn't like, oh, it's a sweeper. It's just supposed to be able to be a nuisance with a Wide Guard, Rain Dance, stick around specifically to get that entrainment off into Kyogre. So really it's just all into bulk, max HP, a lot of defense since that's weaker stat, and then have some good special defense still for jump point, because that allows it to take Astral Barrages more effectively, which is pretty helpful. And the Terra Dark, since I do have the safety goggles, I don't need the Terra Grass. I might as well just have the Terra Dark in case of situations where I'm playing like Terrain Wars with like Whimsicott Encore plus Miraidon, being able to make sure that a Araquanid isn't locked into a Wide Guard, and make sure I always get that entrainment off into Kyogre. Just making sure I have multiple ways to play around Encore, Whimsicott, Miraidon options, I think, with the team in general. So how do you use the team? It is really just getting up Trick Room and sweeping if you can. It's really difficult to sometimes set up the Kyogre or Araquanid, but that is ideally what you can set up for. Otherwise, you could go for Cali Ice, Kyogre just dishing out a lot of damage even without the Water Bubble, and of course the Urshifu to do as much damage as possible. The Dusclops is pretty nice if you are trying to figure out sets, and if the opponent doesn't actually have the best ways to get rid of Dusclops, it can be very useful there. And the ability just to dish out a ton of damage utilizing Kyogre and Cali Ice, because they're still pretty effective even without the Water Bubble strat. They're just really good offensive sweepers, especially that could play around Wide Guard with the Hydro Pump on the Kyogre. And you do have more offensive options of the Calyx Ice Rider with Seed Bomb that can actually hit through, like Lunala, for instance. If you would like to check out the details of the team and the original creator, they'll be linked in the description down below. Koraidon, Lunala, Rillaboom, Fluttermane, Ursaluna, Incineroar. Okay, we do have Rain and Rain Dance, which is actually pretty good here. It is pretty good. I want to go in this matchup. I think it's Dusclops Kyogre is pretty solid, because I have especially defensive Dusclops. Or do I want to go Cali Ice? Actually, do I need Psychic Terrain? I don't need Psychic Terrain in this matchup. I don't really. I think I'm just going to lead Dusclops plus Cali Ice. I think Dusclops Cali Ice is fine. I don't know if they lead Koraidon. I could see like Lunala, Rillaboom. I just think they would be a bit scared of like Kyogre leading, and they lead Koraidon, and then they're in a lot of trouble. So I think I'm just going to lead Dusclops Cali Ice, have Kyogre plus Araquanid in the back. I don't think I need Urshifu. Urshifu's strong though. Urshifu, Wicked Blow, and Close Combat are strong, but I really want to show the Araquanid mode. And I don't think I need Psychic Terrain in this matchup, because I'd rather just go with Indeedee. Although they do have double fake outs, so that could have been annoying for setting up my strategy here. I do wish I was Terra Ghost sometimes, but I think we'll be okay. Araquanid just seems really good here because of the Rain Dance, because of the Entrainment option. We can go for Entrainment onto our Kyogre. There's also a few fun plays we could do with Entrainment onto their team. Entrainment to get rid of a Shadow Shield on Lunala. Entrainment to get rid of Guts on the Ursaluna. There's a lot of fun techs. And well, let's see if we can get the Entrainment off, because that is the hardest part, I think. I remember trying this back in the day, and it was pretty tough to get consistently. Yeah, we do see something like the Lunala plus the Rillaboom, which is not surprising to me here. Okay, I think I'm just going to go for a Trick Room, and I think I'm just going to go for a... I just go for Trick Room plus a... Well, Power Herb confirms Meteor Beam, so that actually changes what I... Actually, does that change what I want to do? I think I want to save the Terra Grass for Kyogre, unless I want to just Terra Grass. I don't know. There's a lot they could do here. Moongeist Beam's pretty free. They could Meteor Beam. I think my best play is to Terra Grass to Cali Ice, because if I get rid of Rillaboom, I'm in a really good spot, right? I think it's actually worth it. I think I am gonna Trick Room and I'm gonna go for Terra Grass here, because if I get rid of the Rillaboom, I mean I don't have to Terra Grass at all with my Kyogre, which I think is pretty massive. I don't know if they fake out. I think they would just fake out my Cali Ice and go for Moongeist Beam, or they would go for Wood Hammer, Moongeist Beam, double up in the Clops. But at least I get rid of the what's it called, the Rillaboom, which is pretty important. So let's see if we get something accomplished here. Fake out gonna come out. Just a Moongeist Beam. Okay, this is perfect here. All right, I'll take that. So Dusclops, as you can see, absolutely tanks it. We are able to get the Trick Room set up with Dusclops. And now we're actually in a pretty good spot because the Cali Ice is threatening so much damage with Glacial Lance. And I do get to pressure with my Pain Split into the Lunala because Pain Split actually affects Ghost types. So I can go for Pain Split and Glacial Lance, and I don't see a problem. I can also go for Terra Grass Seed Bomb in case I'm expecting Wide Guard, which is something I am considering here. They can't switch into Koraidon. They can't switch into Ursaluna. I guess I could switch in Instant if they have it. I don't think they have Instant at this point. I mean, Koraidon's definitely in the back. I don't know what the last mom would be. I think I'm okay with just going for a Seed Bomb, though. Yeah, I'm going to go for Pain Split Seed Bomb. Yeah, because I wouldn't be surprised to see Wide Guard here. Because of the fact that they have Wide Guard, I'm able to go for this Pain Split and Seed Bomb through the Wide Guard, because the Wide Guard covered a switch, right? This gives them a much safer switch. So I'm able to go for the Seed Bomb into the Lunala and get some pretty good damage into Lunala. Almost a KO. That's actually incredible. As a U-turn going to come out in the Cali Ice, which is completely fine because the Lunala is basically almost gone, and that is a huge threat out of the way. That is massive for me. So let's see who's coming out here. Going to be the Koraidon. Yep, not too surprising. So Koraidon's going to come out, which is A-okay for me. I'm going to just... I could Glacial Lance if I want to go super crazy here. Kyogre is definitely a play that I want to make, though. The question is, do I want to switch out to Dusclops and just click Glacial Lance? Or do I want to stay in with Dusclops and switch in Kyogre for the Cali Ice slot to take the Flare Blitz incoming? I think my best play would probably be just to go for a Nightshade into the Lunala, because I think it's forced to Wide Guard here. If you switch into Rila, I think I kind of want to click Glacial, but then again, they could just Terra Fire. I think it's very likely they Terra Fire with the Koraidon and go for Flare Blitz and switch into Rillaboom. I think that's what I would say is very likely here. So I'm going to switch out Cali Ice into my Kyogre and Nightshade the Lunala, because the Lunala doesn't protect, it goes down. And if it switches out, I still get good damage, and the weather is basically changed, which is the important part. But they stay in, which is incredible. So I'm able to put on pressure into the Lunala this way with Nightshade, and they do go for the Terra Fire commitment, which is beautiful. That is beautiful. Okay, awesome. So now the Koraidon's basically not doing any damage, which is incredible, and I get the KO on the Lunala. That's massive. So goodbye, Lunala. That is their Wide Guard Mon down. That is their big offensive threat down with Moongeist Beam. We're gonna see Flare Blitz. This should be going out into the Cali Ice slot. Yep, if it went into Clops, that was fine too. And you can see Kyogre just absolutely eats that up. Perfect. Now this upcoming turn, I can go for a Willisp into the Rillaboom slot, which is pretty free here. And I still don't... Do I want to double out my Kyogre? I don't think I need to double out anything, because Rillaboom's always coming in, right? Rillaboom comes in, I get to go for a Willisp into Rillaboom, so it can't do that much damage. Then when I get Trick Room round 2 up, I'm in a really good spot. So yeah, I'm just going to go for Willisp. I'm going to go for Protect. Koraidon should be switching out here, but I don't know what really punishes my Kyogre in this position. Flutter Mane is coming in. Okay, I don't really care too much about Flutter Mane, although I guess Tall Flutter Mane is going to be a bit annoying to handle. That's all right, because we do protect our Kyogre. Grassy Glide. Perfect. But more importantly, we get the Wisp off, hopefully. Nice. Getting that Wisp off is so huge. Okay, awesome. All right, feeling pretty good. I could probably get in my Cali Ice here and threaten a lot of damage, which I do love to see here. So I am going to double out my Kyogre so I can contain the Weather War advantage. I don't want to go out... Nightshade's always the play into the Flutter Mane. Yeah, no, it's just Nightshade and going to Cali Ice, I think. I think it's always safe. Even if they U-turn, that's okay in a Koraidon, because then I could just go back into Kyogre. Kyogre's not threatened. I can go for a Trick Room potentially. So I think this is all right. They have to get every turn right, and even then, it's not like guaranteed win. So let's see. Do they Wood Hammer here or not? Because Water Spout is running a lot of damage into them, so I wouldn't be surprised. They actually just went for Grassy Glide. I could have just went for Origin Pulse. All right, that's fine. Nightshade going to come out in a Flutter Mane. And Moonblast coming out in a Cali Ice, but that's fine. It looks like Specs damage. If it's Specs damage, I'm okay with Specs damage. Yeah, I'm okay with Specs damage. All right, so Grassy Terrain disappears, which is actually nice because when Water Spout comes out, ooh, we're gonna get some big damage off. But I am just gonna go for a Trick Room here. They can't U-turn in this position. They have to click Wood Hammer here. Otherwise, if they go Koraidon, I just get Trick Room up and then Kyogre comes in and it's just good game, right? So I think I just always Glacial Lance and I always go for a Trick Room attempt. Because they can't stop Trick Room unless this is Taunt Rillaboom for some reason. We are going to see the Moonblast come out and knock out the Cali Ice, but I'm pretty sure I can just bring in my Araquanid and get a Water Spout in a good position. So we're going to see Wood Hammer come out into my Dusclops. As you can see, just does no damage. Without terrain or anything, that's just no damage. Trick Room comes out from the Dusclops, so we are in Trick Room round 2. Kyogre is going to come in and have some fun. Kyogre is going to come in and have some fun, baby. All right, we go out into Kyogre. And I'm going to click Protect, and I'm going to swap out an Araquanid, so then we can get the Rain Dance party started. Then I can get Entrainment set up. So we're going to go into Araquanid, and we go for Protect. Yeah. So let's see. Or do I Entrainment the Kyogre straight away? Which is also another play I can make. I think I'd rather just Rain Dance, though, and then go for it. Yeah, Grassy Glide, sure. Surprised there wasn't Wood Hammer there, but okay. Moonblast double up into Kyogre, nice, okay. Beautiful, what we wanted to see. Rain stops, which is okay because we're about to reset it. I mean, this should be Flutter switching on to Koraidon, right? And them going for Wood Hammer. I think that'd be likely. I mean, I'm just gonna Rain Dance and click Water Spout. I don't see a downside unless the Rillaboom's mint speed, which I don't think it should be mint speed Rillaboom in this case. And even if it's mint speed, like the Wood Hammer's not doing much when Burn and no Grassy Terrain is up. I think Koraidon's always coming in because if you don't bring in Koraidon, like, then wow, they didn't. Oh, I could have got the Entrainment and then Rain Dance up, but this is still okay. I am able to get the Rain Dance. A Water Spout's gonna KO a Flutter and do a lot to the Rillaboom. Unfortunately, as I said, it's hard to get Entrainment strats set up, especially because we had to deal with a Weather War and a Rillaboom. Oh, they went for Wood Hammer into a Araquanid, which is surprising. Okay. Araquanid actually took a lot. Araquanid actually took a lot. From a burned Wood Hammer, when I have a lot of defense investment, that is a lot of damage. Okay. Now, the right place to Rain Dance. The fun play is to Entrainment. I'm gonna go for the fun play because I just let me get this win with my Entrainment, please. I know Rain Dance Water Spout just wins, but I think this also wins. I don't think I KO Rillaboom actually with the Water Bubble Water Spout, but you know what? Rillaboom can't knock out the Kyogre while burned, so I think I'm just in the safe spot. Even a Araquanid wins at this point, so get the Entrainment off. So Kyogre, you're gonna get Water Bubble. You're doing double the damage with Mystic Water. If you don't KO Koraidon and Sun, I'd be so shocked here. Let me see. Oh, I actually KO Rillaboom, which I was not expecting. But that works out. Okay. Now imagine if I had Rain up 2. Imagine if I had Rain up 2. Unfortunately, it was just difficult to set that up. But Dusclops was putting in work, man. Dusclops was going crazy. Seed Bomb Cali, I was surprised to see how much damage we did to Lunala. Granted, it was in grassy terrain, but that was a lot of damage. Playing around the Wide Guard was also super nice because if I did have Protect on the Cali Ice instead of Seed Bomb, it was a lot harder to maneuver the spot, but because the Lunala was so weakened from the early start, it was just fantastic. So pretty happy with how the match went. I think a lot of us, or the plans, just were super safe to deal damage across in Trick Room. Don't feel like I lost too much momentum. Thought I got a great spot to get a second Trick Room up, and yeah, was just able to push through. Ho-Oh, Groudon, Raging Bolt with Fluttermane, Incineroar, Grimmsnarl. Screens. But screens do not like... Okay, so Rain Dance Araquanid's really good. Raging Bolt's still going to be difficult. Grimmsnarl screens and Thunder Wave are super annoying, but otherwise I'll manage. Urshifu's not bad. Wicked Blow kind of wrecks shop through their team, but I'm not going to bring it. I think I always just go with... I think I'm just going to lead Kali Ice plus Dusclops. I just like the lead a lot because Kyogre is just always a safe switch in to consistently get a Sacred Fire or Flare Blitz taken. Yeah, like I just like the combo. And I think I bring a Araquanid back. So a lot of this, if we can set up the Kyogre, great position. If we can't, it's gonna be tricky. We're gonna need a Araquanid next to Kyogre especially, or at least Kali Ice next to Kyogre for Glacial Land's Water Spout pins, because that is still pretty effective against my opponent's team. I'm expecting like Grimmsnarl plus Ho-Oh lead potentially, maybe Grimmsnarl and Incineroar, which would be fair. I don't think I see Groudon leading. Raging Bolt could lead if they expect like Water, Urshifu, and Kyogre. The only problem with leading the Raging Bolt is if I lead Kali Ice, they're in trouble, right? Because they don't exactly like a Kali Ice lead. So I think a neutral lead would be Grimmsnarl plus like one of the again, Ho-Oh or Incineroar, the fire types, but we'll see. Because if I lead Kyogre, they could click Fake Out Light Screen into getting Groudon, so I don't think it's too bad. But let's see. Let's see if that's what they commit. A lot of this is just trying to get in Kyogre to do massive damage. Fluttermane, Grimmsnarl. Okay. Neutral lead, but it works. Do they have taunts on anything? I don't really care. Let's see items wise. Gonna be probably booster energy. No, it's Focus Sash. Okay. Focus Sash, Flutter, and Covert Cloak Grim. Ooh. Okay. Good to know. Good to know. I love Frisk in those team sheet. I love Frisk. We're gonna go for Trick Room and Glacial Lands. I don't see a problem with that. If they go for Fake Out, that's okay. If they double up Knockout to Kali, that's fine too. They reveal Taunt on the Flutter. Okay. So that's kind of annoying because it's probably foul play going out into my Kali Ice. Yeah. That's a lot of damage. Unfortunately, we are able to get the Glacial Lance off at least, but Taunt, Focus Sash, Flutter is bad. All right. We can't get the Trick Room up. I mean, I'm going to attempt to get Trick Room up with Kali, because if we can get Trick Room up, that's incredible. I got to get rid of this Flutter, because Taunt is just screwing up so many of my plans here. So I'm going to go for Nightshade into Flutter. They go for Shadow Ball, which is going to do a good amount of damage, but we should tank it all right. Yep. I actually did a lot more damage than I thought. Foul Play going to come out and knock out the Kali, but I'm all right with that. All right. And we are able to get Nightshade into the Flutter for the KO. So obviously not super ideal. If I went for the Nightshade Glacial Lance, that would have been perfect, but I don't think this is awful. I want to go Kyogre. I think Raging Bolt's coming in, which is a problem. I have no switch into Raging Bolt, so let's see how this is going to go, but I'm going to bring in a Araquanid now. Raging Bolt does come in. Okay. How am I playing through the Raging Bolt? I kind of wish I brought in Kyogre so I could Terra Grass. This is going to be tough. I think it's okay if I get the KO and a Grimmsnarl with Nightshade plus a Liquidation. I don't know if I'll live any double ups here, but I'm willing to go for it. They go for Reflect, actually, which is pretty good, because I don't think Raging Bolt can get a knockout by itself. They go for Thunderbolt and a Clops, but I should tank it. Yeah, perfect. Life Orb Bolt confirmed. Okay, excellent. I am able to get a Liquidation off into the Grimmsnarl. It doesn't pick up the knockout, but the big part is I do get a Nightshade into the Grimmsnarl, which will pick up the knockout. Okay. And now I think Terra Grass game plan is super safe. Dusclops shakes out the taunt, which is actually kind of helpful here. Groudon coming in, which is cool. It's going to come down to can Kyogre seal up the end game, but it's definitely possible. The question is, what are you clicking with the Groudon? There you go, Kyogre, but this is fun. This should always be fundable into Araquanid. I'm kind of curious if I can get a wide guard up and go out in a Kyogre. I don't think they ever fundable to Clops. I think you're always clicking Heat Crash or Precipice Blades. If I can save Clops, that's another target, which actually matters for Precipice Blades damage. So I think I go Kyogre first, because it also allows my Araquanid to potentially survive, because there's no Photosynthesis. I might be able to survive the fundable with Araquanid, which can buy turns for my Kyogre. It didn't survive. They have Crunch, and they defense drop crit me. Are you kidding me, man? That's actually so dumb. I think it was okay if I didn't get the defense drop crit. I mean, we Trick Room and we go for Terra Grass Origin Pulse, but are you serious, man? They crit defense drop? Like, Crunch is like, okay, whatever. I guess that's actually, that's a new move Groudon gets, right? Because unless it got it previously, because it was Shadow Claw back in the Dynamax days, but that was because of Terra, or because of Max Phantasm for the defense drop. Crunch, it has to be Assault Vest on the Groudon. Why did they crit defense drop my Kyogre though, man? I guess that was the risk I took. I'm surprised the Rocketman actually didn't live the Thunderbolt, because I do have Spadef, so I'm just very shocked that I didn't survive. But yeah, we're probably gonna lose unless the Groudon messes up and clicks Precipice Blades. Actually, click Precipice Blades and miss. That's my hope. Are they Scarf? Okay. They probably Thunderbolt into Draco next turn. Yeah, that's what they did. The thing is, I don't live Draco, and I think I would have lived Draco if they didn't crit. Origin Pulse coming out. So I gotta hope for Draco miss. I crit the Groudon, that doesn't even matter. It's Mystic Water in Rain. I don't care if it's Assault Vest, it definitely shouldn't. We always go for Origin Pulse. This is just gonna come down to does Draco hit. Unless they have Dragon Pulse for some reason, maybe I can survive Dragon Pulse, but I definitely don't survive Draco. I don't even think I live Pulse. They're hesitating. Are they Weather Ball? Oh yeah, they have Draco. Okay, the Taunt Sash Flutter. I thought it was just gonna be Icy Wind Flutter, like they do on Koraidon. Taunt does make sense though. But come, the Crunch crit defense drop just is, and that just had to happen, didn't it? Zacian, Kyogre, Qianpao, Urshifu, Tornadus, and Amoonguss. Okay. If I can get Trick Room up, I'm in a good spot. If I can't, it gets pretty difficult. I do like Alley Ice plus Indity. I'm pretty sure I could get Trick Room up, I'm pretty sure, easily against this team. Terra Grass playing with Araquanid. They don't have a Kyogre switch, so I'm feeling pretty good if I can set it up correctly. All right, let's do Cali Ice plus Indity, I think, with Kyogre and Araquanid in the back. Yeah. Okay, let's see what's going to happen here, because a lot of this is going to come down to me getting Trick Room up. I'm kind of curious on who they lead with. They could lead like Urshifu plus Kyogre, which is a bit scary, but I think I should be okay in the long term. All right, they just lead both restrictors, which makes sense. But this is actually pretty good for me because I'm pretty sure Indity never goes down to Behemoth Blade, and I can always just go for Trick Room plus a... Yeah, I could just always go for Trick Room plus a... Follow Me. So So unless it's Kyogre Specs or Terra Water, Mystic Water, usually they're grass on this team, I feel pretty good about my spot. I don't want to Terra Grass my Cali Ice because I want to save the Terra Grass for Kyogre because it's probably a Mungus in the back. And if it's a Mungus in the back, I'm going to get in a lot of trouble. So let's go for Trick Room and let's go follow me. And Kyogre Zacian lead. That was a classic back in 22. It was a classic. You follow me with Indity. Actually, I don't think it really works as well because this doesn't even KO Indity. Yeah. They take the Rocky Helmet damage, which is important for my own Kyogre to be able to sweep them potentially. Water Spout going to come out. Yeah, beautiful. Beautiful. And now we get our own Kyogre in and we are about to wreak havoc on my opponent. I could go for Seed Bomb plus Water Spout. I think my safest play is just to go Kyogre though for this turn and go out into Araquanid and click Water Spout, because the reason I want to get into Araquanid is because of the fact that this could be a double protect, and if it's a double protect, I'm going to heavy punish it with the Entrainment next turn. I really hope that there is a protect here from Zacian, because I would rather have them protect and then I'd be able to Entrainment stuff the next turn. So let's see. Because I would love to be able to potentially one-shot like the Amoonguss, for instance. Bring out the Araquanid. Oh, don't tell me you're Terra Water on the Zacian. Okay, it's just a Kyogre Terra. That's for Terra Grass in case of Thunder. What did the Cali Ice that has Glacial potential? Okay. I mean, that works out for me. I'll take it. Yeah, they need Protect. Zacian, perfect. Okay, so I get Water Spout and I get a Entrainment off. Okay, good, good, good. Because that's the extra bit of power I'll need to KO their Zacian. That Kyogre didn't take as much damage from that Water Spout. Okay, Origin Pulse. Kyogre avoiding is huge, by the way. That's a massive avoid. Because that's more power. I can go for my Entrainment plus my Water Spout. Ooh, boy. Ooh, boy. I don't want to Terra Grass until I reveal the Amoonguss. Zacian switching out. This is probably Amoonguss. Yep. I want to see this Amoonguss. I don't know if it drops because I'm not like the Choice Specs one I used to be in back in the day, or the Terra Water. But I should still do some massive damage here. I should still be doing some massive damage. It's still one shots Amoonguss, baby. It's still one shots Amoonguss. Beautiful. Oh, Thunder. I guess they're Solvus then. Oh, that's really bad. Okay, no Para. That's good. That makes things tricky. Yeah, that makes things tricky. At least I don't have to commit Terra Grass anymore for the Amoonguss. That would make me neutral to Behemoth Blade. I don't think Zacian can knock out Kyogre at this range. And I don't... At least their Kyogre can't protect, so I'm pretty sure I always get like 2 knockouts. Alright, Zacian in. Turns... I'm pretty sure Water Spout still knocks out both. It's 75. Actually... Do I have to risk it? I could Liquidation Water Spout and that should KO easily. Or I could use this turn to get Cali Ice in. I think my best play though is just to click Liquidation into the Zacian and click Water Spout though. It's just so safe. It is just super safe. There's not really a big punish that they can do here. Zacian going to protect, which is fine. Because I should still easily blow up the Kyogre and then we get to plan around the last mon. If it's Urshifu, I'm pretty sure once rain is over, I can Terra Grass my Cali Ice and be in a good spot, assuming that Scarf Urshifu, which normally is on this team. Torn probably just gets blown up by Water Spout realistically, so I don't... Or Origin Pulse. So that shouldn't be a problem. What was the last mon they could have? Amoonguss went down. I don't remember the last mon. Itchy and Pow, okay. Ooh, okay, that makes things weird. I should live Sucker Punch. I think I live Sucker Punch. This is weird. Unless this is Life Orb Xian Pao, but usually there's Sash on Tornogre. I think I'm just going to fire off the Origin Pulses. It protects Pal, so if I do land an Origin Pulse, I'm in a great spot. Nice. Nice. They don't get the double. That's huge. Get Liquidation off. Oh. Or I could just take advantage of Sword of Ruin and get that KO. I wasn't KOing, I'm pretty sure, even with Sword of Ruin, because I have no investment on this Araquanid. But I'll gladly take that. As long as I hit the Origin Pulse, I was fine. So that should be Sash, and Pao confirmed. Oh, beautiful. Beautiful. Oh, yeah, I had Psychic Terrain up. Sometimes, like, the terrain is just... I forget I have Psychic Terrain because sometimes it's not as noticeable as it used to be. But yeah, I completely forgot. So they had to protect there. And now we just go for a Liquidation plus Water Spout because they can only target one Mon. Liquidation will two-shot. They go for Crunch into the Araquanid, which I tank. And I'm able to get the Water Spout Liquidation, so they can't rely on Origin Pulse misses or Hydro Pump misses. And that will be the game. So, one-shotting that Amoonguss, man. One-shotting that Amoonguss. Beautiful. I don't know how much the Origin Pulse would have done. I feel like the Origin Pulse damage, though, was pretty crucial from the fact that dodging it allowed my Water Spout to KO the Amoonguss, because I don't think I was KOing that Amoonguss without it. But then again, they don't really run Spadef Amoonguss as much. I'm not 100% certain, but I'm probably saying that the dodge was probably crucial there because Water Spout, Entrainment Water Spout was just... I cannot believe that, man. We actually got the Entrainment off, which is incredible. Raichu, Miraidon, Landorus Incarnate, Tornadus Incarnate, Urshifu, Zamazenta. Miraidon plus Zamazenta is interesting. It's like okay for my team, but it's not incredible. I don't really see how they're really breaking through Kali Ice plus Entity on the bright side. This Clops is also pretty good, actually. They have a tough time of breaking through Clops. If I get the Entrainment off, I'm in a great spot, but if I don't get it, it's not a pretty one. But is this a game where I want to go for that? Because Clops is actually pretty good against their team under the terrain. I think this is probably an Entity plus Kali Ice lead, though. I do like it a lot. Kyogre and Baek. The question is, do I want Clops or do I want Araquanid as the last? They're both actually pretty decent. I'm kind of leaning towards the Araquanid just for the showcasing, but I do think Clops is probably better. I mean, it's a good Mon here. But I think I'll go Araquanid. I'll just bring the Araquanid because Entrainment, baby. If we get the Entrainment Hydro Pump off into like a wide guarding Zamazenta, ooh. I gotta showcase it, you know? Like, this video is all about trying to get this Araquanid. So even if it's not the optimal setup, I will be trying. I will be trying because it can work here. It can work depending on the situation. I do think I should have probably brought Clops, but we'll see. We're gonna see Miraidon Raichu. Okay. Versus Kali Ice Entity. I don't know if they have a way that can knock out my Mons here. I kind of want to click Glacial and Trick Room. Is that bad here? I'm trying to think of how they could actually KO my Miraidon without the terrain. I don't think they can. I think I'm just going to click Glacial and I'm going to click Trick Room. At least I'm pretty sure. Is there a line? I know Follow Me Trick Room can be super safe here, but I have no idea if there's like some shocker that I have to imagine because this is an imprisoned Raichu with Trick Room. It doesn't get access to Trick Room. I don't think they can knock out the Entity. Yeah. I think I'm just going to attempt it. Let's see. Voltage comes out for the Miraidon, which is cool. Like Kali Ice takes it. Beautiful. And now I'm able to break Sashes, which is pretty nice. I don't know what the Raichu's clicking here, but doesn't look like they can deny Trick Room here. Zamazenta coming in. I get good damage into Zamazenta, which I'll gladly take. All right. What's the Raichu going for? Oh, it also Volt Switches. Okay, cool. If they bring out the Miraidon, that's super funny. But I guess this is going to be like the Ursh. Yeah, okay. That makes sense. So I get the I get the Glacial Lance off, and I'm doing some pretty good damage. Trick Room comes out. I'm okay with just spreading the damage across the board. They don't exactly have the best answers. I think Psychic plus high horsepower, just getting the chip into Zamazenta is pretty big. So I think I'm just going to high horsepower, and I think I'm going to Psychic. Yeah. Like, they can only body press one with Zamazenta unless Urshi's going to go for the Terra, which I don't think you're going to Terra in this situation, but we'll see. Oh, they didn't Terra. They stayed in. Beautiful. I get good damage to Zamazenta. I get a Psychic off into the Ursh, which is able to pick up the knockout. So I get rid of one of their big switch-ins to Kyogre, which is nice, or their water resist. Body press and Entity is even more ideal. Okay, awesome. They took a lot of damage, and yeah, this is looking pretty ideal, I would say. Is this Miraidon coming in? It's Miraidon coming in. They're going to have a tough time, I think. I mean, this is always Miraidon, right? Unless you want to go Raichu, but if you go Raichu, I think it's kind of a rough spot, yeah. Miraidon comes in, beautiful. I think I just click Helping Hand High Horsepower here. Because if they Terra, I just get to go Kyogre, I'm pretty sure. Plus Araquanid, I'm in a good I'm in a good spot if that happens. So I think my best play is just to Helping Hand High Horsepower. Because you want to assume it's like choice, probably, right? I'm pretty sure it's choice specs based on the Volt Switch damage. And if they Terra Miraidon, they no longer resist water, so I'm okay with this. If they Terra Zamazenta and click Wide Guard, this also works. But they do Terra Miraidon, which is fine. Okay, they Terra Fairy. I'm again okay with this position. I guess if they Volt Switch, it's kind of weird because then they have Fake Out Pressure, but I still think this is pretty acceptable. They click Wide Guard. Okay, so they don't get a double knockout, and that's actually kind of massive because I still get free damage into the Miraidon. Yeah, that's good damage. Dazzling Gleam. Oh, they're going for the double knockout, but that's fine. Okay, that's cool with me. End game. I think I'm good. I should have double checked how many Trick Room turns I have. I have 2, right? So I double up the Miraidon slot, get the KO into the Raichu, then I get Liquidation and Rain KO afterward. I think I'm good, right? Assume I hit Hydro Pump, of course. Into a Sash Raichu. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm safe with that. So I'm going to go for Liquidation. I'm going to go for Hydro Pump. Yeah. Because I think they have to go for either a Wide Guard with Zamazenta or they go for a double attack. They switch out the Miraidon. This should be Raichu. This is Sash Raichu. I get the knockout, and then Miraidon's locked in under the last Trick Room. Yeah, they went for a double protect and got it. Okay, so I could have went for Water Spout, but there was a chance they clicked Wide Guard there. So if I hit Hydro Pump or if Liquidation just knocks out Raichu, I win the game. It is Sash Raichu, which I'm not surprised by. Nice. Okay, I win. Beautiful. Okay, awesome. I get the KO on the Raichu. Now I can go for Liquidation plus a Hydro Pump. I'm going to go for it into the Zamazenta. Yeah, I targeted Zamazenta. His Liquidation, it's Rain Water Bubble. I think it KOs Miraidon. I'm pretty sure. And I'm going to Terra Grass just in case. Go for the Hydro Pump into the Zama. And even though we didn't get the Entrainment strategy off, because realistically I didn't need it at this point because I had to make sure I got the guaranteed KOs, I was just in a good spot, right? So we get the Terra Grass Kyogre to go for a Hydro Pump. Hopefully land on the Zamazenta. It's okay if it misses, I suppose. Okay, Liquidation, KOs Miraidon. Good game. Yep. That's the power of... I mean, that's just the power of Water Bubble plus Rain. Like, this is no investment... no investment on the, what's it called, the Araquanid, and that's still getting some good damage. Hydro Pump, we land on the Zamazenta. If we missed, it was okay. I'm pretty sure that Araquanid was just going to be able to win at that point, and we could afford to miss that one because we could go for Water Spout Liquidation afterward. But yep, nice. Just was able to get some really good pins. We got into combination. Wasn't able to go for the Entrainment in that game, but I was just able to dish out so much damage, right? It was like really hard for them to stop by Kyogre from really doing much, and that's kind of the problem when you don't have really protects. Calyx, Shadow Rider, Zamazenta, Raging Bolt, Urshifu, Ogerpon, Heart Flame, and Chien Pao. I think I should be pretty safe against this team for the most part. Like, I don't need Terra and Kyogre in this game. They don't even have a Rillaboom, so I could always keep my terrain up, which is really nice. I think it's just Cali Ice plus Indy is super safe. Yeah, I like Cali Ice Indy a lot here. And then in the back, I would just go with Araquanid plus Kyogre. I think it's really strong. Do I want to lead anything else? I could lead like the Kyogre immediately. I don't think that's worth it. I don't know. I think Indy is just super safe because if they lead Shadow Rider plus Zama, like I always live with the Indy, right? Psychic plus. Actually, I might not live always Psychic plus Body Press just because I'm used to having Psychic Seed for that calc. I'm curious if there's Ice Spin on the Xianpao because that could make the game a bit more complicated because I am relying on Psychic Terrain to stop the priority. If they have priority, if they're able to use priority, the game becomes a lot harder because then I have to actually bank on Origin Pulse, but we'll see. Gonna be the lead of Xianpao Ursh. Okay, this is completely fine. And Cali Ice and the Indy. I mean, this is just a safe Trick Room here. Unless this Ursh for some reason is like Choice Band. If they're Choice Band, then it changes the game. Choice Band Terra War is the only way that I get like screwed here, but I am just going to attempt to Trick and Follow Me because I don't see how they super punish it, and I would love to save the Terra just in case I need it. Yeah, let's Follow Me and let's go for a Trick Room. I wouldn't be surprised if this is Choice Scarf version because they don't really have the best answers to dealing with my team in general. We are going to see the Terra on the Ursh going to be water. Yep. Okay. Big question. Big questions are coming. Big questions are coming. Follow Me from the Indy. Okay, it is Scarfish, so that's good to confirm. All right. So it is going to go down. The Ursh is taking a lot of damage to put in Water Spout range, which is good. I feel pretty all right about this spot. Like, I'm going to take a crunch probably with the Calyrex, but again, I don't think I needed the Cali to win the game. It's really about the Kyogre. Like, getting the Kyogre set up. It can't really switch into Water Spout either, which is nice. Throw Chop is the same thing. Yep. And Trick Room comes out. So they're probably going to sack Ursh and protect the Pal to get into Zamazenta. So I'm just going to go out into Kyogre, and then I'm going to switch out to Cali to go out into my Araquanid here. Because Araquanid actually dishes more pressure than Cali Ice for what I'm preparing for. And then we just click Water Spout. It can Sucker Punch into terrain. Raging. I'm curious if I have Raging Bolt in the back. I'd be shocked if you don't have Zamazenta Shadow Rider. But let's see. So they have to sack Ursh here because Ursh goes down. Basically, whatever comes in doesn't take the Water Spout well, right? I guess maybe Raging Bolt if you're Soulfest, but I don't think you want to risk the Raging Bolt to a Glacial Lance Water Spout, which I could easily click here in this situation. I think you always have to protect the Xianpao because you don't want the double up knockout, because I think that would be awful for you. Unless you want the free switch to have Zamazenta next to Shadow Rider, but I don't know. I just don't think that's ever worth the risk. I think you want to try to stall out Trick Room. Well, that's what they did. Okay, Water Spout coming out. That's cool. I mean, the Pal now is threatened by liquidation, so it's not an awful spot. No, this is not bad, yeah. Also, the Xianpao reveals it is Focus Sash, which, I mean, we didn't see Life Orb last time, so I was assuming it was probably Sash, but yeah, that's good to confirm. They Throat Chop, ooh, into what was the Cali Ice, which is actually pretty good. Please go Zamazenta here. Please go Zamazenta. If you go Zamazenta, I click. I mean, what else can they go? Raging Bolt? If they go Raging Bolt, I'm clicking Water Spout, Entrainment. Like, that's literally all I'm clicking here. Zamazenta comes in. I'm clicking Hydro Pump, man. I'm willing to click it. I'm willing to click Hydro Pump. They can't Terra out of it. Let's Entrainment. And let's go for Hydro Pump. Yeah. Did they aggressively double protect, or did they just protect Azama? Sucker Punch is in terrain, so that does not help them. Okay. I mean, either way, I feel like I'm pretty good about this spot. I guess, again, it's just going to come down to does Hydro Pump hit, which is cool. I kind of want a Water Spout because they just saw I have Hydro Pump. They just saw it Hydro Pump. Yeah, I think I'm willing to click Water Spout here. So I'm going to Liquidation the POW, and I'm just going to click Water Spout. I mean, I KO both if this lands, and if they Wide Guard, they probably attack with the POW, which is cool. I think the question is, I think Kyogre lives a Body Press Psychic just because this is max HP Kyogre. So we're in a really good spot right now offensively. They click Wide Guard, which makes sense, but I did Liquidation to POW this time. Kind of a shame I didn't click Hydro. But there wasn't really super downsides because now the Zamazenta has used Protect the last turn, Wide Guard this turn, has to go for Protect this turn. Basically, you have to go for a double here, which not in the best spot for them. So I'm feeling pretty good about this, even with the Wide Guard. Yeah, this is Shadow Rider back, so this is beautiful. Okay. I think I'm just clicking Liquidation. Into the Shadow Rider, and I'm clicking Hydro Pump. Into the Zama. They attempt to go for the triple with Zama, fails. They protected the Cali. If we land Hydro, we instant win the game. If we don't, it's going to be a bit of a tough one, but it's manageable, I suppose. Okay, nice. This is Hydro Pump, Water Bubble. Goodbye. Goodbye. Goodbye, Zamazenta. Trigger returns to normal, and now we can click Wide Guard plus a Water Spout. Yeah, Wide Guard Water Spout is always the safest play. Because there's no way you can one-shot the Kyogre. If you have Leaf Storm crit, I suppose, but I just don't see that happening. You do not have Leaf Storm, and you crit me. Yeah, you just went Astro. That makes so much sense. Because I could just Liquidation, right, to Cali. So I went for the Wide Guard because, like, Psych is just not going to do enough to the Kyogre. And I'm able to go for Water Spout into the Cali, just one shot because there's no Sash on the Cali. Beautiful. All right, awesome. Awesome. I felt we were just able to get a beautiful spot for Kyogre with Water Spout. And even though there were like a few harder reads we could have went for with the Hydro Pump into Zama and hoping that we were able to catch it, I still think it was a pretty good play. Like the fact that they Terra turn one meant that Zama couldn't Terra, which meant they had no Kyogre resist afterward. And yeah, like they couldn't stall it out because I actually had Hydro Pump to play around Wide Guard. Or I guess they did stall out the Trick Room, but they needed like so many protects. And yeah, like they couldn't Wide Guard through this Kyogre. Annihilate, Xianpao, Whimsicott, Calyx, Shadow Rider, Urshifu, Miraidon. Okay, Shadow Rider Miraidon is probably one of the trickier setups that I have to deal with. However, it's really going to be about the Ape. The Ape's actually kind of difficult. They don't have a way... Well, they do have a way to change terrain, which is a little bit annoying. I could sweep with Kyogre, I think, possibly, but it's going to be really difficult. I need Entity in this matchup. Klops isn't terrible, but it's not like amazing either. I think I'm just going to lead Cali Ice plus Entity. Terra-wise, there's not really a reason to Terra Grass the Kyogre. Sure, there's a Miraidon, but like the idea is to get under Trick Room anyway, so don't think I'll need to Terra Grass because there's no like priority like a Grassy Glide or a Thunderclap that I have to Terra Grass in front of. Let's just bring a Araquanid as the last. Cyclops could do things here. I just don't really see it against these special restricted mons that just give it a bunch of trouble. So I'd rather just go with simply, hey, I'm going to lead Cali Ice Entity, get my Water Spout, Kyogre in under Trick Room. Looks really difficult for you to handle. We're going to see Annihilate Miraidon. Okay. Wait, they can't even KO my... Can they KO anything? I don't think they can. I mean, I'm assuming this is Scarf Ape. Because I assume Scarf Ape Final Gambit. So if it's Scarf Ape Final Gambit, they can knock out the Entity, but because like terrain is shutting off the Miraidon's terrain, they can't KO my Cali. I think I'm just gonna go for Trick Room Follow Me. Like, this would have to be what to screw me over? Like, can I just tear my Entity just to be safe here? I think so. Because, like, the worst case I see is Draco Meteor coming out into Entity. Plus E. Thing is, I could see myself Terra Darking the... You know what? I think Draco Meteor is just so unlikely. I'm going to Follow Me plus Trick Room. If they actually go for Terra... If they go for Draco Meteor... Because the thing is, they have to risk, like, my... Focus Sash as well. There's, like, a lot of things that they have to fear. We're going to see Terra Electric, but I don't think Terra Electric Drift KO is my... Oh, wait. That might KO my Entity. Are you Scarf Annihilate? Because that's the big question. Are you Scarf Annihilate is a huge question. Okay, it's Scarf Annihilate. That's cool. Okay. I think I should live any attack from this Miraidon then. I don't think Terra Electric Drift knocks out. I haven't seen Terra Electric in a while, so let's see. Electro Drift. No way it KOs, right? I just don't believe it does. Yeah, no. I'm pretty sure that is specs too to confirm. We get Trick Room up. Because the thing is, having the Electric Terrain plus the special attack boost matters so much for Miraidon to get that knockout. Now we get Kyogre in. And a Water Spout? Glacial? I don't see a switch, buddy. I did not see a switch, buddy, and they knew too. They knew too. They knew as well. Calyx, Shadow Rider, Zamazenta, Rillaboom, Brute Bonnet, Tornadus, and Urshifu. Okay, so... Do I see... Man, I want to bring Clops really badly here. I think he's good at getting Trick Room up, though. It's kind of weird because who do I tear is going to be a good question. Man, I want to bring Clops to Will-O-Wisp stuff so badly because I'm pretty sure they're just bringing the top 4 of Cali Shadow, Zamazenta, Rillaboom, Brute Bonnet. And it would be really nice to have a Will-O-Wisping Dusclops against most of them. Can I do Entrainment stuff against this team? I guess Entrainment stuff's not important when I don't even know if Water Spout even knocks out because of Assault Vest Moongus or Assault Vest Rillaboom plus Brute Bonnet. So it might not even be worth bringing the Araquanid realistically. Yeah, there's no Rain Dance I need. I think it actually would be worth bringing Clops. I think I'm going to bring Kali Ice Entity and then have Kyogre and Clops back. This could be a mistake, but I like the idea of Clops just because if I'm able to get rid of the Shadow Rider, I'm in a good spot. And Will-O-Wisp is so nice for my team or against their team in general because burning Zamazenta, burning Rillaboom, burning Brute Bonnet, even going for self Will-O-Wisp into Kyogre if I don't want to Terra Grass it, sounds really good. Okay. They lead the Brute Bonnet plus the Shadow Rider. I feel pretty good about this spot, I would assume here. Because I should be able to go for a Terra Grass Glacial Lance because I'm willing to Terra my Kali Ice here. Like, even if I want to Terra Grass on the Kyogre, I think I could beat this. So I'm just going to go for Terra Grass Glacial Lance. By Helping Hand, or do I Trick Room? I feel like I should Trick Room. Let's see. Who do they Spore? If they have Spore, is the big question. Do they Spore my Entity? Or do they Spore my Calyx? Because that's going to be the massive question. I have Terra Grass. I avoid the Spore on the Kali slot. So do they Spore the Entity? Because they are risking Goggles if I do have Goggles. Astral Barrage is perfect, so I'm not taking too much damage here. At least I shouldn't be. Yeah, that doesn't do too much. Nice. Nice. Beautiful. Get a Glacial. Good damage. And Trick Room is up. Excellent. I could have Protect Trick Room if I had Protect, but... yeah. Beautiful. Now I just get a Glacial off. I get to swap out my I get to swap out my Entity. I just go Kyogre to prepare for the Zamazenta incoming, right? They've already taken massive damage. I get Glacial Lance pressure. I can now Hydro Pump. And if I get rid of that Shadow Rider, my Dusclops is going to go crazy against them. And I mean absolutely crazy. I guess the problem is that probably... I would say you switch out Shadow Rider, Zamazenta, and Protect Bonnet. If you have Protect. If they don't have Protect, this is awkward for them. But let's see. Oh, they just Protect Shadow Rider? That's even better. That's even better. Okay, awesome. Because I do get a Glacial Lance off into the... for Bonnet. Goodbye, Bonnet. So that's a +1 for Calyrex. And that's probably like realistically the second biggest threat to Clops. That was the second biggest threat to Clops other than the Shadow Rider. And the Shadow Rider is still in, so they're threatened heavily here. I think I Seed Bomb, Hydro Pump here. Because Seed Bomb, Cali Shadow, and Hydro Pump. They either Wide Guard. I think they always Wide Guard with Zamazenta and switch to Rila. Or they risk it all. But I don't think they should... yeah, like... I think it's either Rillaboom comes in for the Shadow Rider or Shadow Rider attacks. But I think they have to Wide Guard with Zamazenta. Because if I get the Glacial Lance off, they just lose the game. Or if I get a Water Spout off, they also lose the game. I guess they could Protect, but I mean, if I Glacial Lance, they just lose, right? Unless they're expecting me not to. Oh. Oh. It's not Rilla. And they clicked Wide Guard. Okay, Seed Bomb might be good. Seed Bomb might be good. Seed Bomb into the Ursh. Goodbye. And then we're about to get a Hydro off. You get the Hydro Land? Yeah, this might be a wrap. That is incredible. Gonna see the Shadow Rider come back in. Although, at this point, I don't know how they're coming back in this one. I'm trying to think of how I guarantee win this. There's 2 turns of Trick Room. I just Seed Bomb the Cali slot, go out into... I mean, I think they have... I'm trying to think of, okay, if they get double Protect, can I lose? And I think the answer is yes. But I think if I go Entity, I guarantee saved out. Yeah, no, if I go Entity, I guarantee that doesn't happen, right? Not going to be forfeited. Because even if they get the double, they can't knock out Entity. And okay, they would need like a double crit, right? Like an Astral Barrage critting my Cali, and then a Body Press crit knock out my Entity. So I think that gives me the best odds. Or I could go for double Trick Room on the last turn of Trick Room. But I'd have to think about that. But I think that gave me the best odds. Whimsicott, Calyrex, Shadow Rider, Urshifu, Zamazenta, Ditto, and the Iron Bundle. I don't know why I was blanking out on that name. I think position-wise, this is pretty good here. Like, I'm pretty sure I just sweep with Entrainment stress if I get this right. However, I gotta watch out because if the Ditto copies my Kyogre, it could be really bad. So, gotta be careful about that one. But I think Shadow Rider Indy is pretty safe. I don't have to Terra my Kyogre ever, it looks like, in this matchup. And we bring the Araquanid. Let's see what we can do here. Let's see what we can do. I like the idea of just getting Trick Room up and Water Spouting if possible, but that's not always possible. Also, if they copy my Araquanid, I guess it's not terrible because I can still play around Wide Guard, but it's not ideal. Alex Urshifu is okay here. Oh, it's Dark Ursh. I mean, I break this. Now that's fine. I just go for Terra Grass with Cali Ice, go for Trick Room, and just go for a... Follow me. Because I want to break a Sash. If it's Sash Urshifu. Well, only one of these can be Sash. That's the thing. I'm kind of curious on which one is going to be the Sash. I guess we'll find out more likely what the Cali Ice is or the Cali Shadow is holding. Because I'd assume it's Life Orb, but we'll see. You go for Terra Dark here. Interesting. Are you in Prison Trick Room? Don't be in Prison Trick Room, Cali Shadow on this team. If it is, I might be screwed. I might be screwed if it is Imprisoned Trick Room. I don't know why they Terra Dark though. I guess they're scared of if I have Crunch randomly on my Ice Rider, which is a move that Ice Rider has run, but that's only on the Sulfest ones. All right, follow me. Oh. Oh. That makes more sense. It's probably Specs then, right? That's actually a bit weird. That is Choice Band, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I think that is Choice Band. Okay, I think it's Choice Band and Choice Specs, because the reason I say it's Choice Band is because I'm pretty sure that only Choice Band Urshifu can knock out Cali Ice. So I think that Wicked Blow had to be all Choice Band, or at least maybe Black Glasses, but I'm pretty sure it's Choice Band. I'm gonna go Rocket and click Water Spout. Because I'm gonna do my Entrainment strat. I'm gonna do my Entrainment strat. Oh. Wait, so it's just Terror Blast and the Cali has Protect? This better KO. Okay. Good. Alright, we get rid of the Ursh. Zamazenta's coming in. You know the drill. We click Liquidation, Hydro Pump. Oh wait, they went Ditto. What? Oh, I guess you get Wide Guard too. I mean, I'm still clicking Hydro Pump. It's the same plan, right? There's no switching to Liquidation Hydro Pump. And it's not like Ditto is really doing that much while transforming to Rocket, because my Rocket has no bulk. Or not no bulk. It has no attack investment, so it can't really do that much damage. It can Wide Guard, but assuming I just get the KO into Shadow Rider, I'm in a good spot. Liquidation almost KO'd in rain. That's insane. Hydro Pump KO is nice, beautiful. Because now I'm assuming it's Sash. Like, I don't know. Like, I know the Urshifu was probably Choice, but you know it wasn't Sash because Water Spout one-shot it. But yeah, Zamazenta in. How many turns? 2, right? 2 turns to Trick Room left. I mean, the play is always just to Entrainment my Kyogre and then Hydro Pump, right? Yeah. I'm not dealing with them if they click a random Wide Guard with a Araquanid for some reason. They should just protect a Zama and go for liquidation damage, but they need a double protect. Even then, it's like super tough for them to get rid of a Araquanid at that point. I wonder if the Ditto was like Scarf at that point. Because if it's Sash Shadow Rider, which is what I'm assuming, plus Choice Band Urshifu, I guess that makes sense. Entity, Calyx, Shadow Rider, Urshifu, Fluttermane, Tornadus, and Kyogre. Okay. So it kind of depends heavily here on... this is going to be a bit rough. I think my lead here is going to be a bit of an interesting one, but I think it's always Cali, Ice, plus a Araquanid. I think it's Cali, Ice, Araquanid. I think I bring Kyogre back. And then do I bring... I think it's Entity still. So I have a switch into Astral Barrage. The reason I'm leaning Araquanid is because Wide Guard looks really good against this team. Like, show me what they have that stops my Ice Rider from doing a lot. The only problem is I'm worried about one of these Pokemon having Imprison. I feel like it's most likely one of these Pokemon have Imprison, so I gotta watch out. Poor Ursh is a surprising lead, but that works, okay. That's fine. I just Trick Room here. Because if they have Taunt, Entity's going to block that with the terrain. And I could just Glacial Lance Psychic. Yeah. I'm surprised they led this. Because I feel like if I just let Entity Cali Ice, they just lost on the spot. I mean, it's still a really bad position for them, I'm pretty sure. I don't think they have a way that can knock out the Ice Rider. Yep. Yeah, that's why I'm surprised that they tried to accomplish this. But they go for 30 strikes plus that, which is cool. They don't have a switch into Glacial Lance plus Psychic now. That's a lot of damage actually from the Ursh. That's Mystic Water. Okay. I mean, I'm just gonna go. Do I need Ice Rider in this matchup? Not really anymore. I think I'm just gonna go for Glacial Lance into the Torn because I'm pretty sure it's not Sash Torn. I'm gonna go Araquanid because I want offensive pressure. If they go for what I'm hoping to be Terra Water Surging Strikes here, I'm in a good spot. Oh, they click Rain Dance, which is fine because I want the Cali Ice to go down here. I could have just Psychic Glacial Lance and took the KO, which is surprising. I could have got a double knockout, but this works out too. Yeah, get rid of the Torn. Beautiful. Which means I don't have to worry about Bleak Winds. We're going to see Surging Strikes probably into, I think it has to be Cali. Nice. I actually want the Cali to go down because now we get the Entrainment Water Spout off. And they have 0 switches. If they go Shadow Rider, I might Liquidation Water Spout to cover for Focus Sash. But yeah, like the Ursh is definitely Mystic Water based on the damage, I'm pretty sure. So we go out into Kyogre, or maybe it's Bandit, but I think it's Mystic Water most likely. We bring out the Kyogre. If they go their own Kyogre, this is perfect because I get to click Entrainment here plus Water Spout. Yep. And I don't need Terra on Entity. This is the perfect Terra moment for my Kyogre. So I'm just going to Terra Grass. The reason I'll Terra Grass here is in case they have Thunder on their Kyogre. We go for Entrainment onto my Kyogre. Water Spout gonna blow up their team. And that should seal it here. I'm pretty sure that should seal it. So let's see how much damage this does. This is a Water Spout against a Kyogre with Water Bubble. Should do probably 60% at least, I'm pretty sure. Then I Water Spout Liquidation and then I win. All right, no protects. Entrainment. Entrainment. So we have Water Bubble Kyogre on deck. Here is the Water Spout. 90%. 90%. That is damage. Origin Pulse gonna come out. It just doesn't do that much. And then if Shadow Rider's in the back, we go for Liquidation Water Spout. If they get like multiple protects, we still have Wide Guard or Rockwind to protect our Kyogre from taking that much damage. Like Terrain is going to expire, I think, by the time Trick Room comes out. Or by the time Trick Room expires. So they won't even have a boosted Psychic to punish me. Yeah, so we just Liquidation Water Spout. I mean, they should go for all the protects that they have. Like, they can only hope that they can win the game by spamming protect. Oh, the Kyogre doesn't protect? Okay, no, the game's 100% over then. Because that means the Calyx Shadow Rider isn't specs. I don't think Crit Astral can knock me out. Either way, I still have an Entity that can set up Trick Room very safely against Shadow Rider. Unless the Shadow Rider has surprises like the Terra Blast from the last one. We KO the Kyogre, but the game is over. Woo! Gotta love Water Bubble Entrainment strats. It's fun. It's just funny. It's just so hard to set up, but against teams like this that have very little offense or little ways to stop Trick Room, it's beautiful. I'm really surprised there's no Imprison Trick Room and I don't get the lead because I don't think that lead ever works into like Kyogre Ursh makes sense. Torn in that lead, like sure you can taunt, but I had Entity, so I don't know what they were cooking there. I don't know what they were cooking, but this should be the final game for Master Ball tier, which is great. Because I remember I tried out this team for a few games, and let me just say how unlucky I was getting, because every time I was just getting crit turn 1 and losing because I didn't get Chikuma. So that like the fact that like it actually showcases well when I actually want to record with it is the beautiful part. Liquidation going on to Shadow Rider. Water Spout gonna come out into the Shadow Rider as well, but at this point, like, yeah, we're gonna return to normal. But yeah, they just can't do anything. Also, Rain's up for another turn, so yeah, I can afford to Liquidation plus Water Spout. I'm pretty sure. I'm like pretty confident Astral Barrage, unless they're Life Orb, I suppose. But that involves Life Orb, Crit Astral into both. That's so absurd. That would be so absurd. Here comes Astro. I could wide guard, but I was worried that they would psychic reading it. Yeah, it does. Crit doesn't knock out Kyogre or Araquanid, and it wasn't Life Orb. Water Spout actually brings him to Sash, it looks like, because, yep, that's the Sash. Liquidation will finish it off. Ah! Love me some Water Bubble Entrainment. I'm kind of curious on what the Kyogre was, because it didn't protect. Was it Scarf Kyogre then? Maybe it was Scarf Kyogre on this team. But yeah, like, just able to do so much damage, and they had no way to stop it. That's pretty much it. And let us see, actually, I forgot. Let us see the Master Ball, because that should have been the final game, I'm pretty sure. I think I've been on Battle Stadium long enough to know when is the final battle to get Master Ball tier. Yep, beautiful. Beautiful. And that is Master Ball tier with the Water Bubble team. Woo! Only lost one, which was really nice. All right, let's go over the games. In the first game, got every read right with the Dusclops, man. Was able to get so much work with the Dusclops, especially with the Willisp into the Rillaboom, which was huge, as well as the Nightshade KO into the Lunala, which was massive because it allowed my Kyogre to be put in a great spot to KO, especially with Araquanid in the end game. In game 2, this Focus Sash Flutter Mane was not expecting it to have the taunt, which ended up being very difficult because that ended up removing so many of my options to set up Trick Room, and I don't think I was able to get Trick Room up with my lead unless I went for Trick Room with Cali Ice and I guess Nightshade. That would have been a read on its own. I don't think it was the best spot, even with Kyogre switch, I guess was a throw in that situation, because they did have Crunch apparently, which I was expecting to just switch into a Heat Crash or a Precipice Blades, which would have been blocked by Wide Guard. But because it was Crunch, then even with the crit, the fact and the defense drop, I guess those didn't matter in the end, just because of the fact that the Crunch afterward, I did the Calc Thunderbolt is 20% after the Terra Grass, and then Draco Meteor's like a 50 to 60. So I was going to go down anyway, unless it was like a Heat Crash I was switching into. But man, the fact that that happened, the fact that it was Crunch at the crit defense shot was just something during the moment. And I really thought Araquanid would be able to live the Thunderbolt, even with Life Orb, just because I had a sassy nature. Araquanid has really good Spadef, and we were able to shut down the Photosynthesis, but I guess Raging Bull's just that good. In game 3, the Entrainment setup was beautiful because I was able to get the Water Bubble onto Kyogre, which was then able to one-shot the Amoonguss with Water Spout. Cinema. Absolute cinema. In game 4, was able to get a beautiful Urshifu knockout, and with Hydro Pump landing on the Raichu, my opponent wasn't able to stall out the Trick Room with their team. In game 5, was able to force out the Terra Water from the Urshifu immediately, and then that just allowed Kyogre under Trick Room to sweep them because they didn't have a water resist afterward. Game 6, well, I don't think I have to go over this one. Luckily, no crit. In game 7, Seed Bomb Calyx Ice Rider was actually really good here because I was able to catch the Urshifu on the switch in, which is not what I expected, but sure. And thankfully they did Spore into my Cali Ice, which was huge because I was able to get my Trick Room up and get Glacial Lances off and heavily damage their side of the board, and pretty much just got the best turns possible. In game 8, I wasn't expecting Terra Dark, Terra Blast, Calyrex, but thank goodness I went for Terra with my Cali Ice to survive the Wicked Blow, and then was able to get Trick Room up to sweep with Kyogre in the end. In game 9, yeah, I was just very surprised by the lead because I just don't think it was able to stop Trick Room, and yes, that was the case because even though the lead wasn't as ideal if I just let Indy, the fact that I was able to block the taunt, so I was just able to get Trick Room up anyway with my Calyx Ice Rider, just ended up being pretty tough because I was just able to sweep them under Trick Room, and they had no way for them to stop my Water Spouts from really just being able to sweep their team, especially with the Entrainment. So how do I feel about the team? Overall, I'm glad it got a good showcasing because man, the first couple of games I tried were rough. Like I was not able to have Trick Room, especially like just getting crit in the first 2 games I think I tested with this team to see if it was worth trying out. I didn't even have max Glacial Lands power points, which I learned the hard way against like a Pressure Eternatus, which wasn't fun, that had Protect. So I'm very glad that the team got to showcase when I decided to actually use it on video. But yeah, really strong stuff, especially from the Kyogre. We were able to get the Entrainments off with Kyogre, which I feel like would probably be hard normally, but it actually felt a lot easier because we actually got some situations. Of course, depending on the team, it's going to be hard. And I think if they have like really good tools, especially with like Rillaboom, Raging Bolt, multiple different ways of redirection, it can get difficult. However, I'm really glad that we were able to get several entrainments off with the Araquanid, and Kyogre was able to do a lot. And Dusclops actually impressed me. I wish we were able to use it more in the video because it put in a good amount of work, at least in the first game, and probably could have done decent work in the second game as well, assuming we weren't, you know, affected by Tom, but that's just how it goes sometimes. If you'd like to try out the team though, the rental code is on the screen. It's available for 1 week, so make sure you grab it while you can. Otherwise, you can check out the original details of the team down below in the description, as well as the creator, and I'll link the VOD of the tournament that this team was able to get top 8 in. And yes, subscribe to the channel for more VGC content as always.